Good morning, my crafty friends. This is Lori, Girl on the Ridge. I have another Pioneer style journal with me this morning. This is Ella. Ella comes with a bag. The bag does not fit the journal. I made a smaller bag because she was just getting too big, and I didn't want to try to stuff it into a journal. So I made some other goodies in here that I will share after we flip through the journal. Ella is 9.5 or 9 by 5, 96 pages. I use a variety of papers: Tsunami Rose, Artsy Maze, Screech Owl. I think that's it. Ella was friends with Jilly. She also grew up in a brothel. She was not as well. Jilly's mama protected her also, but in a different way. They disguised her as a boy for many, many years. They kept her binded up, boy clothes, and protected her that way. She was an orphan. So when Jilly left and Claire left, Ella knew it was time for her to get out of there. I don't know. Repair already. That's okay. Material. So it was time for her to go. So this is Miss Ella. And there's some notes in here. And this is some of the embellishments, and I'll point them out, will be from A Tattered Dream. And these are glossy accented flowers. This is Tsunami Rose. And there's lots of laces and lots of shabby chic. Ella had grown up as a boy, so she vowed that she would be surrounded in beautiful pinks and flowers, and she loved she loved to can, and she loved to do flowers because she'd sneak into the garden when the girls were busy and work in the garden, and she was into the herbs. She would dry them for Jilly's mama. So that was a lot of what she did. This is just got on Pinterest. She also, Jilly's mama taught her sums and reading, so she had education. And poor little Ella. And she remembers Jilly and Jilly's mama in the garden, and just wishing that she had a mama. And this is just a little flip up. So she knew she had to devise a plan. These are just pretty. The girls would give her snippets of their dresses or throw them away actually, and then she would go get them, and then she'd make things out of them. In my mind, and she loved nature. This is a embossed doily from A Tattered Dream. I just made a little tuck there. So into town comes Chord McBain, who has 2 young children with him. His sister and brother-in-law perished in a fire. He had to go get the kids, and this is and bring them back to the west, and he had to catch up to the little tuck thing. He had to catch up to the wagon train that Jilly and Claire were on. So as he came into town, he knew he needed help, and that's just a paperclip. So Ella dressed up as a woman and kind of applied for the job. Chord was a little leery of hiring. He thought she was a woman of the night. This is just a paperclip that I can get out of here. Paperclip that I actually decorate on both sides. And this is just a little trifold that you can write right on it, or you can just tuck some stuff in there and in there. So he had a little girl and little boy with him, who Ella instantly fell in love with because she always wanted a family of her own. So much to Chord's dismay, he finally agreed to let her come on the wagon train ride with them. And he was skeptical, but we know she would turn his heart. And there's some writing pages. And Ella would right, there was a couple girls there that would knew that she was a girl and that helped her. This material. It's just a flip up. And I put a lot of pinks into this book. So they're getting ready to go on the wagon train. They had probably about 2 days ride. So they were at a fast pace. And Jilly, the little girl, just, oh my goodness. See, I was in a hurry. There. Little kisses. The little girl just cuddled up to Ella. Chord was a little, he didn't want the girl or the kids to get attached to Ella because he didn't plan on having her stick around. But they were. And there's friendship. Ella missed Jilly a lot. She couldn't wait to see her. And there's just a little bag with a hat. She stuffed a little hat for Claire because she knows how Claire loved her beautiful stuff. So one of the girls gave her one of their discarded hats. So she stuck that in her case. And I did leave a writing spot. That's just some material. And Claire vowed, or Ella vowed that she would make herself some beautiful dresses and they wouldn't be red. So she, the madam actually knew that Ella was a girl. Gave her some patterns and some sewing stuff. So Ella couldn't wait to make her own beautiful clothes. And this is a letter that Jilly had wrote her. So she's keeping that close to her heart. And there's, I just said, writing spots. And they finally met up with the wagon train, and they all hugged, and they were all excited to be together, the three girls. But Chord was being really rude to poor Ellie. And so Jilly had to take him down a couple pegs. And so there's some writing paper. And so, like, their first fire night, he didn't expect Ella to do anything, and she made the best biscuits, and she whipped up the coffee, and she made rabbit stew, and he was coming around. He was getting impressed. And then when he started to kind of accept her, she was livid because before she wasn't good enough until Jilly explained to her situation. And now she was ticked off. So she was playing really hard to get. And Chord couldn't understand it because he was such a catch. He thought every girl would be excited to find him. So that was quite an interesting wagon train ride. And Miss Ellie brought a lot of seeds because she was going to have the best garden around. She was going to make a home for these kids, even if Chord didn't want them. And there was just a little envelope that you could tuck stuff in. And I just did a lot of little, actually writing spots. And then this is a little bear that she made for little girl Reagan, so she could hug her, and reminds Ella told her a story that every time you miss your mama, you just hug that bear. So that was a, Chord was very, that's when he actually fell in love with Ella. So Ella was giving him a hard time, but she knew he deserved it. And this is, these I screech owl. And then she snuck in a pair of shoes for Miss Jilly. And that's just a flip up. Maybe. Yep. So towards the end, Chord was begging Ella for his forgiveness. And there they are. She's happy and he's happy. And they're going to start a beautiful life with his niece and nephew. And then they'll they'll have a family of their own. And she's going to write her memories there and in there that unties. And that's just memories of how she grew up. And she'll never forget that. That made it who she is today. And then her flowers, they're finally getting closer to their destination, and they're all going to be parting their ways. They'll still be close to each other. And then she's excited about making dresses. And then there's great expectations. And then there's more dresses. And I just left that plain. So that is the journal. And then in here, I made, let's see, we have, one of the altered envelopes that I was very inspired by Amity Bloom. And this is just, this is a paper clip, and that just clips to a piece of paper, a letter from, actually, the madam that Ellie never opened up. And that kind of, well, it's blank, but kind of explains that she knew that she was always a girl. So she kind of also helped protect her. And this is a little tiny trifold that Ella is making for little Reagan as her memories of her mama. So this is just another little paper clip, and then that just opens up as like a mini stationery book. And then this is my portfolio. I love making these. Again, this is just paper clip, and then it just opens up, and there's just a lot of different tags that I made. And then these come out, and this flips open for paper. And tags, and there's tags here, and the same thing here. It flips out, and that just has some paper. So this will be listed on my Etsy. I will probably take a break from making these for a little while and go back to the altered books, which I also love making. So I'll be making a couple of them, along with some tutorials that I know I promised. So those in the altered books will be next. So thank you for watching. Have a nice crafty day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.